Boy, I'll tell you, Cat Williams was right about everything. I'm PG, I'm chillin', and this is my review of ScHoolboy Q's new album, Blue Lips. And you got gray hairs. Ugh. It's been 5 years since Q dropped his last album, Crash Talk, and Q has since been sporadically dropping guest features, taking up golf, and of course, taking care of his daughters. Also, at one point, he did open up about going sober, in part due to the reason of the passing of his friend and rapper, Mac Miller. But for the most part, Q has kept his life private. So with a few singles and music videos for a rollout, we wonder what does Q have in store for us musically, if that desire is still even there. And on this album, Q shows us all sides of his character, so to speak. Gangsta rapper, father, groovy Q, druggies and hoes Q, and introspective Q. He feeds us that old Q, gangsta rap bravado and energy, on tracks like Pop, Time Killers, and Pig Feet, where he talks primarily about street life, gangsta lifestyle, murder, ultimately reminding us of where he came from and why we got into his music in the first place. And we do hear him delivering and flexing with high energy, especially on the lead single, Yearn 101. But he also gives us more introspective tracks talking about his life since making it big. Like on Blue Slide's Q pays tribute to Mac Miller. Not just in the title alone, but also a nod to him on a couple of bars talking about mental health and losing a dear friend. Also, the production does remind me of something that would have been on the Swimming album, with the progressions of smooth, jazzy instrumentation. On Foe, which basically acts as Druggies with Hoes Part 4 with Ab-Soul, we hear him talk about how that lifestyle has actually been detrimental to him and his career. So rather than a banger celebrating drug use, we actually hear kind of the opposite, which makes sense considering where these guys are in their lives now. And on Cooties, Q reflects about his success in life, being in a better place mentally and physically, and worrying about things that are not gang or street related. And people hating on that are just jealous, and that bad energy is just, ugh, get away from me. Like Cooties. So content-wise, this album definitely feels more inspired than his last project. The production throughout this project is a bit unconventional. As well as a mixed bag of content, we get a mixed bag of production styles. There's a few hard-hitting beats, some elements of boom bap, trap, jazz, and a little bit psychedelic. And with that comes an abundance of beat switches and transitions. Even more so than I would like. Like on the tracks First, Movie, and Ohio, I find that a few of those transitions don't really work well or for one are even smooth. Especially on Ohio, even with the Freddie Gibbs guest feature, I'm not really sure that I like this song. Because sometimes with beat switch-ups you may end up liking part of the song and then throwing the rest away. Just simply not enjoying the rest of the track. As far as the features go, they are okay at best, but it's really because ScHoolboy Q is the strongest performer throughout this whole track list. As it should be. For one, it's his album, and two, because ScHoolboy Q tends to be the strongest performer on most of the songs that he's on. I mean, he's always made his presence felt with the way he raps and his voice. Now, I know there was a theme to this album, I just wasn't exactly sure what it was, so I deferred to his definitions of Blue Lips on his album trailer a few weeks back. The definition referring to being speechless by temporary result of shock. For me, I at least feel that in the production choices, but I think the definition that describes this album the most is the last one. Become fully aware of something as a fact to understand clearly. On top of all that gangsta rap, we do hear Q maturing and really gauging his idea of success and happiness and coming to grips with it. Q opens up on this album more than all of his others and is just really being authentic, being fully aware of what has troubled him, where he is now, and who he has become. So in a sense, mission accomplished. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't disappointed that we didn't hear more bangers and gangsta rap songs like we did on Oxymoron or Blankface. But as an artist and as a man, this is certainly an album that shows his evolution, and you can't forget about that. I do think that Blue Lips has some of his best writing and perhaps his most creative and experimental soundscape. As a ScHoolboy Q fan, I don't believe that this album was really worth a 5-year wait. But I do believe Q is still showing that hunger, desire for making music, and is still capable of making quality music. My favorite songs are, thank God for me, Blue Slides, Cooties, Back in Love, and Lost Times. But what are your favorite songs and what are your thoughts on this album? These are my thoughts. Stay blessed. What the fuck was that?